Hello and welcome to the She Reads Romance Books podcast, the ultimate show for romance book lovers looking for the best books worth reading. I'm your host, Leslie Murphy, and in each short episode, I share my favorite book list of recommendations so you know exactly what to add to your must-read list. Join me as I explore the romance genre and have fun collecting book boyfriends along the way, because life is better with a love story. Hello, readers. I am so glad you are tuning in to today's episode because it is going to be a fun one. I haven't done a romance trope or romance category list in a while, but today things change. So I don't know if you've heard or seen the trailer for the upcoming movie F1 starring Brad Pitt and Damson Idris. Gosh, I hope I pronounced his name right. It looks really good with a lot of fast F1 car racing. And I know that Formula One romance books are now coming out of the woodwork as of late. And knowing that people will probably want to dive into some F1 romance books after watching the movie, which releases on June 27th, I have put together a list of all the must-read F1 romance books on shereadsromancebooks.com, and I'm going to talk about a few of them on today's episode. So if the ones that I talk about here pique your interest and you want even more to add to your TBR list, then definitely click the link in the show notes to check out the entire list of Formula One romance books. And of course, to keep track of them all, because there are honestly quite a few, if you didn't know that already, be sure to also grab your copy of the Romance Book Reading Journal. It is a reading tracker, planner, and journal all in one, created exclusively for romance readers like you. And it's the perfect place to write down a list of F1 romance books you want to read and review the ones you check out, and so much more. It's available as a printable on She Reads Romance Books or as a paperback or hardcover on Amazon. Definitely check it out. But first, you may be asking, if you don't know already, what the heck is Formula One? Good question, because I honestly wasn't really sure myself, other than the difference of cars from like NASCAR racing. So Formula One is the world's highest class of open wheel single seater auto racing. So F1 cars are designed for speed, reaching speeds of over 200 miles per hour. The season consists of multiple races, Grand Prix, held across different countries and continents with points awarded for each race. 2 championships then are awarded annually, one for the top scoring driver and another for the top scoring team. So that is like your quick and dirty on what race car driving is. And as I said, I'm going to talk about a few Formula One romance books. One that I've already read and enjoyed, but also a few that are on my own personal TBR list that I want to read. These books are honestly perfect for the sports romance junkie, of which I fully am. I think there's just something about sports romance in general that I love. And in F1 romances, you've got like the adrenaline junkie drivers who I'd love to, peel out of their racing suits or whatever they're called. I don't know. I mean, these are like alpha males and females who love speed and danger and risk. And I'm all for it when it is mixed with the perfect love story. So first up on my list of must-read Formula One romance books is Formula Fling by Sawyer Bennett. And here is what this book is about. Posey Evans is looking to take her career as a romance author to the next level, shifting from historical love stories to writing about the high-stakes world of formula racing. Wanting to immerse herself in the sport, Posey manages to secure full access to the Crown Velocity racing team by faking credentials as a journalist. When she's granted unlimited face-to-face time with one of the team's best drivers, Posey is equal parts elated and terrified because While she's getting exactly what she wants, she can't afford to have her secret exposed. Lex Hamilton lives for the thrill of being one of the fastest and most decorated race car drivers in the sport. When he's behind the wheel, he's focused on one thing and one thing only, earning top spot on the podium. But off the track, let's just say his extracurricular activities have put him on a very short leash with the team management at Crown Velocity. He's cocky, handsome, dripping with swagger, and not super happy to have what he considers a babysitter following his every move. Lex's unwillingness to help doesn't deter Posey, but when he uncovers her secret, they strike a deal. He won't reveal her truth if she helps him stay out of trouble and keep his job. While many women would swoon at his feet, Posey isn't interested in anything more than Lex's racing knowledge. Mostly. As the season inches closer and passions ignite, time at the track leads to time in the bed. Having agreed there is an expiration date on their arrangement, what started as an assignment has the potential to go the distance as their physical relationship builds into something deeper. But when her secret is revealed, will Lex and Posey's relationship hit a wall, or will this fling find its way to the checkered flag? Now, Sawyer Bennett, author of this romance, is no stranger to sports romance. She has written two incredible hockey romance series with, books galore in each. So if she is going to write a formula romance series, I am totally in. So far, the series has 3 books, beginning with Formula Fling. I love that the heroine is a romance author like Sawyer. So I can't wait to see what type of personality she gives this woman. I'm also very much a sucker for sports romance books where the athlete has a reputation he's trying to repair to keep his job. So, it's not a new storyline, but it's one that I love time and time again. So I really want to see just how much trouble our bad boy Lex gets into. If you do too, then check out Formula Fling by Sawyer Bennett. Another F1 romance on my list of must-reads is Throttled by Lauren Asher, and here is what her Formula One romance book is about. Noah. Maya Alator is the sister of my teammate and my new obsession. Keeping my distance during the Formula One season should be easy, except I always find ways to see her. Press tours, pre-race rituals, sponsor events, and black tie galas. The more time we spend together, the stronger my desire grows. Sneaking around with her is one thing, but wanting more, never going to happen. She might be a distraction dressed like a daydream, but no woman is worth risking the championship title over, or so I thought. Maya. Noah Slade is Formula One royalty and my brother's biggest rival. When I'm invited to join my sibling while he competes for the world championship, I promise to avoid Noah at all costs. 21 races, 2 drivers who hate each other, and 1 forbidden attraction I can't ignore. Developing feelings for Noah wasn't part of my plan, but then again, neither was anyone finding out. Turns out the man I was warned about happens to be the one I can't stay away from, even if he breaks my heart once the season comes to an end. So Throttled is book 1 in her Dirty Air series, which has a total of 4 books. If you've already fallen for her billionaires in her Dreamland Billionaire series or her current Lakefront Billionaire series, then go back to where it all began with this series featuring some F1 racers. I love that this one is a forbidden romance, given that Maya is Noah's teammate and biggest rival's sister, and you know how it goes when 2 people think that they can keep a fling secret. It never stays secret. I also really hope that Lauren brings some spice to this book, so Throttled is definitely on my list of must-read Formula One romance books. Next up on my list to check off is Off the Grid by Kay Bromberg, and here is what her book is about. Spencer Riggs is sexy, intense, and driven in his pursuit of all things racing. That pursuit now includes me. The cocky bad boy of racing struts onto my father's team like he owns it. One look from him and I can tell he thinks he owns the boss's daughter too. I'm determined to resist that panty-melting smile he keeps flashing my way. I have no time for distractions. Fulfilling a last promise to my father is my only goal. Race after race, city after city, I do my best to keep it professional. I swear I do. But one night after a hard-fought win, we're celebrating, and Riggs claims his own sweet victory, me. His sizzling touch owns my body, but it's the broken man beneath the public facade who slowly wins my heart. Before I realize it, Riggs is the one I'm willing to risk everything for, even if it means breaking a promise. But with our hearts on the line, will he risk everything for me? Okay, Bromberg, I can tell that you are going to bring the heat in this first book of your Full Throttle series, of which there are 4 books. We've got the boss's daughter trope in this one with a driver who appears to be quite arrogant, but who I have a feeling can sort of back up that arrogance. I imagine Formula One drivers have to have a decent amount of arrogance and fearlessness if they are, driving around crazy courses at over 200 miles per hour. Sounds like this is going to be a really good one, and I love all of Christie's sports romance books, so this one is definitely on my must-read list. Another author whose sports romance books I love is Victoria Denault, and her Formula One romance book is called The Chase. And here is what that book is about. Frankie. I grew up on the track surrounded by race car drivers. I loved it, but along with the good times came some really bad ones. So I left that life behind and didn't look back until now. I never thought I'd care enough about the family legacy to take control when my dad retired. But I did, so now I'm in charge of a racing team that includes the man who kissed me, then ghosted me before that was even a thing. Sadly, he's as hot as ever, but if he thinks my heart will be his next big win, he's sorely mistaken. Billy. I was worried when Frankie took over Marabella Racing. Not for the team. She could handle that. I was worried for me, the guy she hates. Problem is, I don't hate her. She's everything. But in my line of work, relationships are complicated at best, dangerous at worst. Not to mention, now she's my boss. Even with all those red flags, I still can't stop trying to charm my way into her bed. She won't make it easy, but I love a good chase. So there are 2 books in her racing series, Heart series, of which The Chase is book 1. This is another forbidden romance as well as maybe a second chance romance between the driver and the new boss for the team, who happens to be a woman he has history with. Given their history, there is going to be some tension between Billy and Marabella, and Victoria writes some really great enemies to lovers romance, so I hope that her talent is evident in this Formula One romance. Okay, I think I have 2 more that I want to talk about. The next F1 romance book is one that I've already read and really enjoyed because as my first Formula One romance, it taught me a lot about the sport. And that book is Fast and Reckless by Amanda Weaver. And here is what it's about. Mira Wentworth knows Will Hawley is trouble, even if he revs her engine. Flirting with the handsome new driver on her father's Formula One team is not in the cards. Mira has sworn off on-track romance after a mistake as a teen cost her everything. Now she has a chance to win back her spot in F1 as a team assistant, and she's not going to let one cheeky bad boy driver get in her way. After his party boy antics nearly blew up his racing career, Will is finally back in the driver's seat and determined to get onto the podium. He likes to think he's reformed, but with one look at the boss's daughter, he's willing to risk it all. As the heat builds between Mira and Will, their chemistry deepens into something more. But when the ugly events of the past come to call, their fragile new relationship is put to the test. Can Mira and Will's love cross the finish line? As I said, or maybe I didn't say it yet, I chose Fast and Reckless as my first F1 book last year because I had come to find out that Amanda's husband is a Formula One journalist. So who better to write a Formula One romance than someone who has the inside scoop? This is another forbidden romance between a driver and the daughter of the owner of the team. So Mira loves the sport, but she has been away from the circuit for a few years, given that something that had happened in her past, but now she's back. And she's really just trying to find her niche again, and she really doesn't want anything to happen to risk that, which means she really doesn't want anything to do with the new driver, but he kind of becomes relentless in his pursuit of her. But it was really good. As I said, a great, intro into F1 romance books. The second book in her series actually releases this August. So if you want to pick this one up, you can binge read both of them this summer. Okay, one more Formula One romance I wanted to mention is called Pole Position by Rebecca Caffey. And here is what that book is about. Kian Walker has always been the golden boy of motorsport. The 4-time championship winner has racing in his DNA. His father was a legend on the track. Just don't let him catch you comparing the two. As reckless and unreliable at home as he was behind the wheel, there's nothing Keenan wants less than to be just like his dad. Enter Harper James, this year's rookie called up to compete with the big boys, and Kian's new teammate. Cocky, hot-headed, and with a reputation for breaking as many hearts as he does new track records, Harper's the opposite of Kian in every way. But when the season starts, there's no getting away from him. This might be one of the most dangerous sports in the world, so why then does Kian's heart feel safer flying around the track at 220 miles per hour than when he's anywhere near his teammate? So this Formula One romance released last year, and it made my list because it's an romance between two drivers, and it's a forbidden romance in a way since they are teammates, though, I don't know, is that forbidden? I'm not really sure. I don't see what's wrong with it, but I like that one driver still has something to prove given his famous father, and the other one is just trying to make a name for himself. And yet the two of them are falling for each other as the season goes on. I am super intrigued by Pole Position, so it is on my TBR list as one to check out this year. So there you have it, just a taste of a few Formula One romance books. If you are intrigued by this newly popular romance book category that, as I said, I think will only get more popular now that the new Brad Pitt movie F1 is releasing this summer. Maybe check out the movie, learn a bit about Formula One, and then get your binge read on with these F1 books that I mentioned and more, which you can find, as I said, in my entire book list of must-read Formula One romance books on shereadsromancebooks.com. If you happen to have a favorite, I'd love to hear about it, so share it with me on Instagram, Facebook, or on my website. I definitely want to know about it. In the meantime, have fun falling for these books that will surely rev your engine. Until next time, happy reading, because life is better with a love story. That's all for this episode of the She Reads Romance Books podcast. I hope you enjoyed it and found some new books to add to your TBR list. If you did, please subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast app. It really helps me reach more romance book lovers like you, and I appreciate your support. If you're a book boyfriend collector like me, then you'll want to join my email list so you never miss a podcast episode or a new book list. Just visit shereadsromancebooks.com/join and sign up today. As a thank you, I'll instantly send you my list of top 10 book boyfriends that will make you swoon. Trust me, you don't want to miss this list. Thank you for listening, and until next time, happy reading.